Here's the Hammarlund HQ-150, and I'm trying to clean off the other Lexan window. I did get one of them into the front panel here, which I'm happy about. Here, I'll show you. Here's the front panel, and these little Lexan windows go in by putting a square piece down first, and then the curved piece, and screwing them into these little standoffs. And then you get a Lexan window in there. So that's how you do it, I suppose. I don't know, but anyway, it looks like it's working, so that's what that one looks like. The other one is not put in yet because it's all dirty. So I found that to clean these, there's some kind of weird crud on this one. And I'm just using Windex, and I got a bunch of these as spares, but if you don't have any of these, just this comes with a radio. I'm just using it as a spudger because this is not as hard as the plastic, and so it won't scratch it, I don't think. So, or Lexan, or whatever that stuff is. So I'm just knocking it off with this thing, and I'll show you what I'm doing here. And that may work because this thing has all this weird crud on it, and that's not acceptable to me. So, nor to David in Massachusetts. He wouldn't like having crud either. He keeps me honest on these matters. All right, so a little bit of Windex on there. Don't wreck that little line, the calibration line in the middle. Don't hit that with anything, but this has been working. So I'm just kind of like working this crud off with this this little piece that actually holds it on. And it appears to be working, so I'm like, holy smokes. You don't want to have crud in this thing. Okay, there's a big hunk right there. So just knock it off. I was getting it off anyway. I got a lot of it off on top. And what about down here? That's not coming off so well, but that did. That did. As long as you get this down below the center line where there's a big hunk. I don't think this is glue. It's just some kind of crud on this thing. And that piece is like really on there. But it will look detrimental. What about the thumbnail? The big old thumbnail. Yeah, knocked it off. What do you know? Big old thumbnail, knocked it off. The thumbnail might scratch this thing, I don't know. I don't know, no, not really. Looks like it's holding its own. Well, if the thumbnail's working, it's working. Now that's off of there. What about over here? This piece over here left. So anyway, that's how I restore this stuff. You just gotta use any means possible. And you don't know what kind of crud you're gonna come against. You just deal with it. So how does it look now? There's a piece, there's all loose pieces hanging around. I think this thing came back from the dead. I really do. This little piece looks pretty good now. It's definitely presentable. There, that's off of there. No, it's not. Well, that one's really on there. There, that came off. What do you know? This thing might even be presentable. All right, so give it some Windex. Give it a wipe off and see what you got. See how it turned out. Well, there's still an outline of where the crud is, but it's not as bad as it was. So there's still crud on it, but it's mostly gone. Looks like I scratched it a good bit too. Okay, will that matter? I always go to try and make this thing look like new, you know? Okay, that crud is on what side? It's on this side still. And I can feel it with my fingernail. Let's try and get it off of there. Can't even see it. That's because it's disappearing. I guess the Windex has an effect when you get the big chunks off, the rest just kind of comes off. Yeah, that's gone. Anyway, this is what you do when you buy something that's all screwed up. And you want to get it looking nice, not shabby anymore. All right. How does that look? We don't want it looking tawdry or shabby. We want a posh radio. A posh valve radio. Nothing less than posh will do. This thing's going to be on the high street. It's not going to be in the alleyway. So I still got some bits and pieces of crud on here. Let's see, I think I was able to rub it off last time on the other one. Okay, it's all on this side. And I just rubbed it and it came right off last time with a dry towel, basically. So this window is not going to look great because I've scratched it and it's had crud all over it, but it might be fine. At least it'll be usable. At least it will be usable. Boy, that's not going to come off. You wondered what this stuff is and how does it get embedded. Yeah, it finally came off. Son of a gun. You just got to work these things, you know, with your thumbnail. I hope you got good thumbnails. You might not have any thumbnails left when this is over. There's a little chunk right there. It's irritating. That's on this side. That's just garbage. Okay, so let's check and see a quality check now and see what we got. How much crud is off this thing? Does the camera even focus on it? There, it's focusing now. I'm using an iPhone for a camera, which is what I always use. And this is perched on top of a beer glass, basically, a big tall beer glass, the camera. It's facing down toward the work. All right, we do have a piece of crud left. A little one there. Maybe it's over here. Yeah, it sure was. Okay, that's gone. Now we're trying to perfect it so that it looks dandy. There's a piece of crud right in the middle. And a piece down there. Well, this won't look perfect, but it might be good enough. I don't know. It depends what you're willing to do with this thing and how much you can do. Any crud on the edge you're going to see for sure. Makes it look shabby. No, it eventually comes off. You just got to work it. it eventually comes off. I would like to get things in the middle to come off. Boy, this thing was really, really bad. And now it could be at least excusable. All right, so with that said, how does it look now? Would it be fine in the radio? I don't know. How would it look? I don't like this stuff at the bottom, but if it doesn't show up. So, how would it look in the front panel then? I'm grabbing the front panel right now. So then, how do you put the stuff into the front panel? How do you put it in? You first want to see what side has the black line, and you don't put the black line side out, because when people rub the black line to clean it, they can rub it off. So I'm trying to figure out which side is the non-black line side, where it's... Let me take a look at it off camera here. Okay, so the black line side, this is the black line side here, and this should be facing in toward the radio. So you can take these off. Maybe not. Do I got a screwdriver that will work? Yes, I do. Anyway, why won't this come off? I'm gonna move the camera a little bit to get the screwdriver on this thing. There we go. That takes that off. You want to make sure these are tight. I just hand tighten them. I guess I should use pliers, but I didn't do that. All right, those are pretty tight. Now you find a square one like that. And I found what's the easiest thing with these is you just line everything up and throw it through there. So I'm again looking for the black line. I'm trying to figure out what side the black line's on here again. Okay, black line is facing the radio like that. So you build this up and you put the square one down like that. You put the curved one on top like that. And you put a screw through it all to line everything up. So now you can put a screw through it all. It's a pain in the neck. There we go. Now you get them all lined up like that. So they're all done, and just put one of them in and see how it looks. And then you can put the other one in if you can find a screw for it. I'm looking for a screw that will work. Don't really see one. Looking for a screw. Not that kind. Okay, so of course maybe I should, right? Okay. Tilt that over here. Bang. Bang, bang, bang. I'm not sure why I can't get this going, but I can't. Okay, take this out. Line this up. Put it back in. Okay, it's finally lined up. And this thing also moves around a good bit, so you gotta kind of get it straight down. Yeah, I think that's fine. Line it up so that it's straight and see how it works. Just snugging it tight. Snug that one tight. Did I line this one up? There we go. See how it looks. All right, so the operator is operating from the front. Let's see, yeah, there's a beer glass I use as a stand. All full of fruit juice, even still, old fruit juice. Okay, so let's flip this around and take a look. It's coming back together. So there, we're staring at the little windows there, huh? Doesn't look too bad. Oh, that one's got all the crud on it, doesn't it? So what do you think? Take that one back out and fix it? It looks better than it did, but it's still got crud all over it, doesn't it? Well, anyway, there's a scenario. It's somewhat usable. I don't like that one, and that one's the band spread one, right? So that's not, whoa. This is upside down, sorry. There we go, sorry about that. So this is the main tuning one, which looks just fine. Doesn't have any crud. The other one for the band spread has crud, but maybe you wouldn't see it that much. I guess on that background you see crud, don't you? On this one, no. So that probably has to come out and get refined. But it's a start, right? Anyway, that's my video of how to get this thing back together. Yeah, that's got some crud in there still, doesn't it? This one also has crud, but considering how bad those were, maybe it's not so bad. How would it look on the radio with crud? There's the radio right there. Can you see the crud? No, not really. Maybe it's just fine the way it is. Why be crazy, right? It looks pretty good. For an old radio, maybe that's all you do. Considering this thing's a box of bolts, it's, I I guess I'm lucky I'm getting any progress at all with it. So I don't think I'm gonna go crazy with it. Well, I sure did a crap job painting it, didn't I? It's one shabby radio. All right, thanks for watching. Have a great day.